There are so many ways for you to carve out a career path in filmmaking. In fact, I already recorded this video, we edited it, and there was so much information, it was almost confusing. That's why we've actually created a downloadable PDF with these different career paths. This is, in our experience, different paths you can take to achieve your goal, different parts of the industry you can participate in, and kind of the different stages along the way and the pros and cons. So you can download that down below. These are actually all paths that I've taken at some point or another in my career, and they're all in service to making films. So let's jump into this and talk about a few of the top career paths in filmmaking. We'll start with what I'm going to call traditional. This is where you go to film school, you get an internship, and that internship sometimes turns into a job, and then you work your way up through that company, and eventually perhaps pivot to other parts of the industry with the experience that you've gathered. I know this very well because I went to film school, I interned, and then I got a job, but then AI actually made that part of the industry irrelevant for me, which got me back into directing.
You are terminated.
But that's another story for another day. The pro of this approach is that if you work hard and you're in the right film school, it can almost guarantee you a job once you've graduated. It may not be in the job you want, might be in traditional media, might be in a broadcast company, but the right schools have pathways to internships. I know a ton of film schools who've actually reached out to us to have their students intern at AOD. It's not an option right now, I'm sorry. Unless you're a killer remote editor and want to move to Toronto, then send us your reel. But the con of this path is it's expensive. Film school costs tens of thousands of dollars. I was at an affordable subsidized film school here in Canada, and it still cost me, just for my tuition, about 9,000 Canadian per year. This didn't include the cost of my gear, the cost of my computers, rent, and all of that. It's not cheap. By the time I was done, I probably spent somewhere close to $80,000 for just 3 years of film school. Of course, this is why we made AOD, so that you can get as much experience as film school and more for just a fraction of that price. And a lot of people in AOD mentioned that the first few videos of our course provide more information than they ever learned in film school. Moving on to point 2. This is what I would call the film job. There's filmmakers, those are the creative roles, kind of the writers and directors and producers. But then another term I use is film workers, people who help support to create that vision. And there's a traditional path for this as well. This is where you gain some experience on some short films or volunteering on film-related projects, and then you go to a union to become an apprentice and work your way up in that skill set. This is often for camera people or art departments or the beloved sound recordists. And to all the sound recorders out there, I love you. Your work is incredible. The human voice is one of the most important parts of the film, and you certainly make it sound way better than I ever could. Make sure to check out our career map as we talk about the different stages while you're in that union. The pro of this is that you get tons of mentorship. You get tons of set experience, and you get to work with people who know way more than you. The con of this is that not only do you not have control of your schedule, you can end up on feature films that may sound like fun, but end up being 14-hour days. I've worked on feature films in IATSE, I used to be part of that union, and they were grueling times. Now, some people love this, they're obsessed with it. Personally, I like to have a little more control of my schedule. The pro, you do get to work in an amazing community, and you can build some lifelong friends. And if you've ever worked on a film, it does feel a bit like family by the end of it. But again, the con is you're always one job away from not having work, especially when there's strikes. Not only with that PDF, we're gonna be doing a free career path building workshop. This is where you'll get live Q&A opportunity to talk about these different career paths, get some advice from different people who are experts in these fields, and learn about how to create a thriving career. We'll be putting a sign up for that as well, and it is free. Another career path is freelance. I did this for a while just as a director. I went from job to job and I would shoot some things for different companies. I was just a camera person trying to direct. The pro of this is you don't have many expenses. You're just working with other companies. You get to work on a variety of projects. When I was camera operating, I got to shoot different commercials practically every week. It was super fun. The con of this is that you have to be good at networking. You have to constantly be reaching out to production companies and producers, getting in front of them so that you can continue to work in that desired position. And you have to be working on your passion projects and getting your name out there if you're looking to be a DP or a director. There's so much freedom as a freelancer, probably why the name free is in it.
I get it.
But with that freedom comes some uncertainty, which leads me to my next path. This is one that has a little more certainty if you're good at it. And this is the small business retainer approach. We teach this extensively in our Create and Earn course. And this is when you're able to work with 1 to 3 businesses to help build their marketing and video content and have them at minimum on a 3-month contract. Pro of this is that you get a bit more predictable income. And if you're good at it and you can charge the rates that we recommend, if you have the approach and use our email templates, you can make up as much as $10,000 per month per company. The con of this is that it is a grind. You're essentially the video department, almost like an employee for multiple different companies. You need to be very available, you need to be on the phone with them often, and you have to be working with a lot of clients, which sometimes clients aren't so fun to work with, so you have to choose wisely. But people like the AOD co-founder Michael Del Monte, they've had amazing, thriving retainer businesses, and it's allowed them financial freedom to be able to create the films they're most passionate about, which we're gonna be releasing Mike's feature film, His Name is Ray, which got into TIFF, as well as Hot Docs. It's an incredible feature doc. Mike made this while running 3 retainer clients. Highly recommend that. That's over on our AOD Films channel. And the last career path I wanna talk about, which I think a lot of you might be interested in, is the content creator. This is someone who is just creating content for consumption on various social media platforms, kind of like what I'm doing right now here on YouTube. The pro of it is you're your own boss. There's endless possibilities. You get to come up with the stories, the films, and the content that you are shooting. And if it's done well, it can be very lucrative if you're able to grow your following. The con of this is that it's very, very competitive. And it's at a place where audiences want to hear from those who have a unique perspective, skill set, or experience. I see a lot of people jumping into the content creator space fresh with minimal filmmaking background, and audiences will call you out on that. That doesn't mean you can't start, nor should you. It's great practice to start your channel now and to be putting out that content on social media, but nothing beats experience. I would consider working in one of these other career paths, gaining some experience from some other film sets and from some other filmmakers, or some things that are completely unrelated to filmmaking. Some of my favorite filmmakers like Ethan Coen study philosophy. And if you watch the films by the Coen brothers, like I think The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, if that's the right name, that last film in that about death and people kind of going to heaven, it's an allegory. It's films like that that really make you think. Or my own career path. I thought I was gonna be doing humanitarian work or maybe ministry, and I went that route. And it gave me a base and an experience with people who had way different lived experiences than myself. And that's always informed my filmmaking if you've seen the rest of my films. So not everything you have to do has to be filmmaking. So again, I encourage you, grab that PDF and also join our free career building workshop where we're gonna be talking more about these different career paths and giving you live Q&A chance to talk about some of these, how to build retainer models, how to be a better freelancer. We're here to help equip you in this journey. It can be confusing. There's so many different paths. One of my favorite quotes I've loved is from a communicator named Andy Stanley, and he always says, borrow a map, but pick a destination. What he means by that is borrow the experience from other people. They've had a map in their career, but pick your own destination. No one has the same calling as you in life, and you need to pick that. But the map, you can borrow from some other people. You don't have to keep it, you don't have to do all the exact same steps, but you can learn from their experience. Appreciate you watching this one. Let me know if you have any questions. And actually, one more activity I would love to encourage you to do. If you're made it this far, leave a couple sentences about your career path, where you started, where you are right now, and where you're hoping to go. I'm sure there'll be people who are reading these comment sections who will be encouraged by this, seeing where you've come from, what you've overcome, and what you want to do. And who knows, you might be able to connect with some people from around the globe. This is what we're always doing in AOD, and it's so cool getting to see filmmakers connect with other creatives from all corners of this globe. Awesome, appreciate you watching this one. I hate goodbyes, but I love weird vintage t-shirts. Days before the rodeo. I've never ridden at a rodeo. I don't know if I've even been to a rodeo. I have ridden horses, just did in Nigeria. They're great, they sweat like us. All right, see you in the next one.